Okay, well, I think I'm recording on everything here. We're recording, wonderful. So look, we had a couple of issues today. A couple of issues is probably a little bit of an understatement. The electrical issue that I had was actually a proper problem yesterday. It seemed the battery that I had on board had completely dropped the cell. So all of the power that we were drawing yesterday for yesterday's flight was actually all straight off the alternator. So the electrical system did its job. However, the battery didn't last overnight. So out of all of the little 1.2 volt cells that are that make up, a 12 or a 13 volt battery, one of those dropped off. So the alternator was unable to charge, which is why I was getting this really high amperage here. What was weird is why I thought the reading was erroneous was just specifically because the voltage remained so consistent. But yeah, it was a complete battery failure. So I probably had a little video before I started this flight of me upside down in the aeroplane drilling holes in the plane because right here beside me is a helicopter facility, and there happened to be a dude there working, and he happened to have a spare battery. Just that battery was maybe for a helicopter and not actually for a little aeroplane. So I had to make a whole bunch of changes down there between the rudder pedals, shoehorn in this.
Newman area helicopter function, carrying area 1, helicopter 3, taxi relocate the Jet A Bowser.
Newman CTAF 122.0.
So I was able to steal the battery off him and fit it in, and we're going to be able to continue operating, but it means I'm a day late for a pickup. So this flight is pretty much a sightseeing flight around Newman, and just have a look at, make sure that the battery operates correctly and that it charges up. The battery was sitting in, this was a spare battery used for testing. So yeah, pretty much that's it. So we'll just go up for a little 20-minute flight. Maybe I'll have a little bit more time to talk about how the plane flies, because I'm just going to be making sure it operates correctly. You can see here there's a little bit of busyness going on, but we're going to be fine. I just had to listen to the ATIS.
AWS aerodrome weather.
Grab it again.
Wind 320 degrees, magnetic 7 knots. QNH 1013.
So 300, we're going to be using 05.
Newman traffic RV6A Juliet Victor GA ramp taxiing to backtrack runway 05. Will be departing, saying 10 mile radius of the field for 30 minutes, Newman. Lever function down and clean.
So we'll accept getting cooked here a little bit. And we're going to do engine run-ups on the runway. It's 30 degrees here on the ground today, and that means she's density out. I don't know, I could do some math, but it's not going to be a consideration for us today for what we're trying to do. I got 155 litres of fuel on board, and obviously the weather is not an issue. A bit of low-level turbulence will be a consideration for us, so we will want to keep an eye on that. Today the departure is going to be a left-hand turn. We're going to fly down the runway, we'll accelerate, anything goes wrong. While we're accelerating down the runway, we'll go ahead, close the throttle, shut the engine down, and we'll stop on the runway. Anything after takeoff, we're looking for a best glide of around 80 knots. We'll pitch, we'll look for somewhere to go. There's plenty of highways available, and that's where we're going to head to. Transponder comes on, and I'm clear to the right, clear to the left.
Newman traffic, RV6 Sierra Juliet Victus, entering backtracking 05. For a departure, left-hand turn, will be operating between 2,500, 3,500, 10-mile radius of the field to the northwest. Newman.
AH is still cooked. We'll go ahead and just get the autopilot up and running here. The temperatures are all fine for us to go flying right now because it is so freaking hot. And that's pretty much all we need. We'll get the strobes on, landing and everything else. In case there was a jet on the way in. There was a Qantas A320 just sitting on the ramp a little earlier. But he's already gone and blasted off. Oh, fuck my life. Sorry, team. Hot, steamy, quality camera action here. There we go, that's a little bit better for me. So trim is set for takeoff, flaps are set for takeoff, flight controls will go ahead and check they are full and free. End of the runway, we'll go ahead and do our engine run-ups. Actually, we'll do them while they're rolling here. These are obviously non-standard run-ups here, but we've got plenty of runway. Let's go ahead and cycle the prop. Nice warm air in there. Warm air? Warm oil. This is obviously not an approved run-up technique because it does use a whole bunch of aircraft brakes, but it also minimises my time. So when operating at a really hot field with a high density altitude, using the brakes isn't really my utmost concern. The engine overheating is already seeing 300 degrees Fahrenheit here on the CHTs, so the engine is quite hot. Now when I do take off, I'm actually not going to take off with full mixture. We'll go ahead and adjust that as I stand the power up holding the brakes, but with about this sort of one edge gap here is what we're looking for.
Newman traffic, RV6 Sierra Juliet Victor, lining up 05B30, second delay on the runway, departing immediate left-hand turn, climbing 2,500, operating 10-mile radius northwest of the field, 30 minutes. Newman.
Okay, approach is clear. Other approach is clear as well. Just depends what if there were any jets inbound, what they're going to be doing. And one last flight controls, we are full and free and flaps are set to 10. Switches, check left to right, we're all looking okay, mags are on both. Great. Hand on the brakes. Here comes the power, just that little bit mixture, everything else looks okay. Looks good, feel good, smells good. Go ahead and stand the power up. A little bit more mixture at 1350, more mixture, 26, speeds alive. Decent P's are all in the green, there's 55. Hold the nose off, just hold the nose, just pause, wait. There she goes, it's trim. We're already through 80. 85 flaps, there's one, there's two, there's three, quick check, flaps are all the way up. And we're still accelerating, we're through 100 knots. Here comes 110, wait for 120, and we'll pitch, we'll turn, and we'll climb. There it is, here comes the pull. And we're seeing healthy 2,000 foot a minute. We'll keep this turn going, so we stay nice and close to the airfield.
Newman traffic, RV6 Sierra Juliet Victor is departing, left crosswind, climbing 2,500, 3,500, on call Newman.
Call through 100 knots. Aircraft's at a safe height, let's go ahead and adjust the power. Check the mixture, we're all looking okay. T's and P's, aircraft's happy, pilot's happy. Quick look around, make sure there's no one joining downwind, and we're all clear. As it is warm, I just want to climb at a nice high indicated airspeed, to 110 to 120. The camera's probably doing a really good job of getting rid of all of the bumps, but she's a little bit bumpy today. And we can see we are charging correctly, the voltage is really moving around. Let's go ahead and start unloading the aircraft, the electrical system, so landing strobes and all of those other things that are coming off. And we're already at 3.5. Nice little water holes over here, so why don't we go ahead and have a little look at those, see how we go. Might come up just another 500 feet or so. Want to go ahead and monitor area frequency just in case we do hear any jets getting their IFR clearances inbound to Newman. So, let's go ahead and reduce this power. 20 inches. Under 20, I'm happy with that. Here with the mixture now. A little bit of trim. Try and save a little bit of fuel. Wonderful. Yeah, so now we've unloaded the electrical system. I can see our charge rate has dropped. We're only drawing 15 amp from the alternator. Which is pretty typical for what this thing is going to draw. So really that's... Because that's a jet heading to Carafa. Oh man, you're getting fucking bounced around. Just going to put a message here over onto receiver. Fuck. I can't even... Yeah, yesterday I could take my hand off the stick and the plane and fly around. Turbulence today. Check. Have a plan. Okay, thanks to Siva. Let me know how it goes.
Scooter 008, contact me 132 J40 with estimate Jaws. 132 Scooter 008.
I don't really like operating out. Okay, so we do have IFR traffic now. Up.
Julium 0828 flight level 410 and frequency 132.0.
So,
Scooter 008, Melbourne Centre.
just so I'm aware, I know that there's inbound IFR traffic, and so I'm just going to make sure I'm not positioned flying around in circles somewhere that's going to affect them. They're 90 mile away, so...
Velocity 1436, contact me 133 J46.
So when they make their inbound call to Newman traffic, I'll go ahead and just let them know where we are, and I'll just find out what approach they're doing, and I can just position myself away from them. But that'll be a Virgin 737. Might be cool. It should be cool to see a Virgin jet on the ramp, but...
Velocity 1436, Melbourne Centre, velocity 1436. Velocity 1436, contact me 133 J46.
So let's just see what happens when we turn on all of the electrical load again. Yep, okay, so now we're drawing, wow, 30 again. Drawing quite a large amount off the alternator, but that's okay.
Foxtrot Whiskey Alpha, identification terminated, report estimate Calgary release. Velocity 1727 at 4 miles, contact ground the tower 127.35, identification terminated.
41 miles, 127, that's 135.
So you guys have heard me talk quite a bit when I'm simming, when I do what I casually call the sit cunt approach. That's the low approach into a break, into arriving overhead the field. Where I say that, you know, the approaches like that, they're not really applicable for some GA aircraft, you know, it really is a, you know, high performance aircraft kind of like maneuver. But We'll go ahead and probably demonstrate maybe something like that today. We'll just have a little look, see how busy the tarmac is for that overhead brake, and we'll show you how well it works with this aeroplane, and just how why it's a safe approach in this aeroplane. At no point is it an aerobatic maneuver either, because we don't apply anything over 60-degree angle of angle. It is low to the ground, but we don't have to do it low to the ground. I could do it at 1,000 feet, which would also work. So we could even demonstrate it at 1,000 feet if we really didn't want to have people looking out of the Qantas aircraft seeing us doing shit. But that departure was the opposite of one of those approaches. Is that with that really aggressive, that quite aggressive left-hand bank and pull, is it keeps me really, really close to the airfield. And if I lose an engine at any point during that maneuver, I'm actually making it back to the runway with not a lot of sweat at all. Whereas if I just fly straight away from, if I'm flying runway heading and I'm tracking away from the airfield, well, I'm going further and further away from safety. But if I keep a really, relatively steep climb angle, as well as, nice tight turn close to the airfield, that does change my safety margins quite a bit. So and in this aircraft, speed is life. If I have speed, I can do something with it. I have flight control authority and all of that. This thing at slow speed, it really, really doesn't have a lot of. It has good authority, but the stick deflections start getting larger and larger, and it just gets harder and harder to fly the aircraft accurately. This thing likes flying fast. It likes flying fast. That's what the wing's designed for. That's what the flight controls are designed for. So operate it fast. That's where it wants to be. We're just poking up here on the Newman township, so I just thought I'd do an orbit of it. So we should be able to look at it out the left-hand wing here and see what the town looks like. And I can't go over the mine today. It looks like they're doing blasting because there's a whole heap of dust and crap like that all out there. So I'm not too interested in going over the mine and showing you a great big hole in the ground that humans are making. But this will kind of be okay to show you a little bit of the town. And I've been able to test the aircraft and make sure that I'm happy flying any further north into more and more remote country. So, there's the town of Newman. Not much to it. Notice all of the roofs are red, everything is red because all of the dust from the mine, it really affects the town. You can't go anywhere without there being red dirt. It's kind of crazy. For some reason there's a golf course here. She is a tiny, tiny town. The only reason it exists is literally because of the mine. That is the only reason it exists. There's only there's only a handful of homes that are here that are actually privately owned. Everything else is owned by the mine site. In fact, the mine owns half of the town, if not all of the town. They paid for the shopping centre to be built. They literally paid for everything to exist in this town. And so if you come here, if you get a contract with BHP, they basically issue you a house. You don't pay any electricity. Everything is covered for you. It's a pretty good deal. And that's why it's a super weird town, is that all of the that people are here, they exist purely because of the mine. And a lot of people come up here, they'll get a 5-year contract, and that 5-year contract is so they come up, make some money, they'll go ahead and make a bit of money, and then they will go ahead and move back to where they came from and have enough money to buy a house and all of that. It's a pretty good deal. Don't have to pay for rent for 5 years, get paid stupid amounts of money, and but you have to live up here. There ain't too much up here. That's the mine just off the wing there. You can see all of the blasting and all of the dust is it's an iron ore mine, and so apparently the pricing of ore has gone up, and so the mine is starting to kick back into a pretty high gear. It is so much infrastructure. It has its own power plant, and in fact all of the water and all of the power for the town is all produced by the mine. The mine makes water, has a desal plant, and it also has a big electrical generator. I think that's it, just actually coming up on the left wing now. There's actually there's a train coming in to pick up all of the iron ore, and then it takes it out to, I think, Port Hedland. You'll see this wing off the left wing now. Have a look at that train. It's like a proper 3-kilometre long train. It heads up to Port Hedland, I think is where the port is. Empties all of the raw ore. There's a boat there that picks it up and takes it all over to China. Another mine over here we'll go have a look at. It's pretty crazy to see how easy it is for us to fuck the landscape. Mine looks like, I think this mine is actually decommissioned. I don't think it's used anymore. I haven't seen much dust, and you don't see many equipment. Actually, there's some equipment moving down there, but I think they're all filling the holes. I don't think they're actually doing any particular mining or proper mining anymore. All of these hills, they're doing exploratory digging, trying to find any more iron ore that we can rape the landscape for. All of the company. So I believe this is all VHP still. No, yeah, that thing's still going. They're pumping iron ore out there. I can see the little rig there operating. It's crazy, hey? For anyone that's seen the Australian movie The Castle, will be very familiar with the saying, "Dad, I dug a hole." It's a pretty big hole. Alright, so I haven't heard this jet inbound yet, so might actually go ahead and call them up and see if they're there.